We can start now.
Yeah.
What a nice camera person.
He's the best, man. He takes care of me.
Cuts out all the swearing words.
Okay. We made some moves today. We've sent some guys out of big league camp to our minor league side. We'll start with the pitchers. Jesus Tinoco, Justin Lawrence, Ryan Gonzalez, Evan Grills, Ryan Castellani. I think that's it on the pitching side. Got 6.
Tinoco,
Yes, no,
Lawrence,
Gonzalez,
I think
That's 5.
5.
Excuse me.
Need a cough button.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Brian Servin
Catching.
has moved over to the other side. Sam Hilliard, Jonathan Daza have moved over. Tyler Nevin, Colton Welker have moved over. Josh Fuentes has moved over to continue his rehab from the hamate surgery. And that's it. So with those guys moving over, the room has started to thin out, and those guys will get acclimated on the other side, get into their routine, get into their working groups, get regular at bats. They'll start games when minor league games start here in a couple days and continue their development and growth. But they showed very well in camp, I thought, all of those guys. It was a good camp for all of them. I thought that, they held their own. It was obviously on the unfortunate side, Fuentes with the hamate surgery, we didn't get to see him, play here in big league camp. I think he's scheduled to play potentially the last week of spring training, so that would be good for him. But overall for that group of guys, they showed very well.
Guys like Hilliard, Daza, some of the others. Excuse me. Do you intend to bring them back some for
Possibly, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, there's always that chance for sure. We can bring those fellows back.
with Tinoco? I know that he's moving along, and you're kind of converting him to relief.
Sure.
Was there just not enough innings to throw in these games right now? Or?
Well, yeah, I think with him, let's get him on a real regular schedule over there, and get him, on a nice program. It didn't look like he was going to make the team, so let's move him over and let him get, start over on the minor league side.
But I asked you about Lawrence a week or so ago. You talked about his delivery and what he needs to do next, but your impression as he leaves big league camp after seeing him in big league Cactus League get what handful of
Yeah. It's a big arm, no doubt about it. From that arm slot, throwing with the velocity he does, and the ability to spin the ball, it was really impressive to see, and encouraging, for the future, for him to be where he is now, as opposed to 12 months ago. What a rapid growth for him. I mean, I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. He had a good year last year, obviously. He got on the radar. Arizona Fall League, he showed well here at big league camp. Like we talked about, there's some things he has to clean up a little bit. I think, a little bit of, what our eyes tell us about the potential for the ball strike ratio, controlling the running game, fielding his position, being, being totally confident in this entire game. But he learned a lot this camp. If you guys catch up with these fellows, they'll probably tell you the same thing.
Yeah, you could Hilliard and Daza, two physical players in different ways. Although both of them could run, Daza can play some defense. Did you see? Were you able to say, "Hey, look, guys look good. These are the things you need to work on when you go back"?
Well, we saw those guys for the first time last year, and we saw the physical tools. They both went to Double-A. They both, I think Sam had a, good second half, which is a good sign, had a good fall league. Daza, hurt the hamstring, pulled the hamstring, so he, finished the season hurt, which was a bummer. But he's a guy that can impact the game in many different ways, which I told him this morning. He plays defense at a well above average level. He can run. We think there's a hit tool in there, but he and Sam both are progressing through our system and getting closer to us. And there's a few things they have to, tighten up a little bit, especially on the contact rate. But
Right.
they're doing well.
Buddy, what does a young player like a Hilliard who has nice power in his bat, nice swing, but the strikeouts he
Sure.
knows are too
Yeah.
high? I mean, is it a matter of pitch recognition? Is it a matter of the level that they just have to?
Well, there's
Adjustment?
there's an adjustment because he's going to start facing. I mean, Double A. There's some good pitching,
Right.
and some pitchers in that league can expose some, maybe some potential holes in your swing. So you got to close those holes, via your swing. Pitch recognition, to your point, is a big part of it, right? Recognizing a breaking ball or even recognizing a ball from a strike. Your eyes will tell you certain things about pitches, and you hope that, just the repetition of seeing better pitches gets you in a good spot, to improve on what you need to work on. So with Sam, there's a little bit of mechanics, there's a little bit of swing mechanics that he's going through to tighten up some holes, but also, recognizing pitches. And that's probably more the case with Daza, pitch recognition.
He I was talking this morning with Tony Walters, and this guy who
He's sick,
went through
man down
a lot
twice.
two different things actually, the stomach and
Right.
the upper respiratory. Went through a lot of stuff to try to correct some things offensively, but it just looks like the illnesses haven't been able to see much. I mean,
Yeah, well, he's had a couple good swings. I thought he had a good day in Glendale. Had nothing to show for it against the White Sox. Two good swings, but the work that he's done on the cage and the consistency of what he's trying to do has shown up in his swing. We got to keep Tony, directed on, in one path of an approach and not change. He has he can change a little bit, often sort of his nature. So we got to try to keep it, in a simple manner with Tony to trust what he's doing now. But we'll, once he gets healthy, back on the field, we'll try to catch him up.
Buddy, one of the intriguing things to me about your club moving forward is the team speed. With Hanson, Story, and Dahl, and Desmond, and I mean, there's a lot
Sure.
of fast guys in this.
Tapia,
team.
potentially.
Tapia, right.
Talkman.
How much, if you guys utilize that as you hope to do, and I'm not talking just stolen bases, I'm talking about pushing
Sure.
the action. How much pressure that
It,
Can that
it
put on
creates
other
a
teams?
ton of pressure. Obviously the pitcher-catcher combination feel it. The other manager feels it. The defense feels it, and it's uneasy. And we want to create that because of the speed we have, right? Desmond's probably at the forefront. You've watched Desi play. We've talked about the last couple of years how he plays. We need Dahl and Story and Hampson, Talkman, Tapia, Hilliard, Daza, to do this. And it's very uneasy on the defense. I truly think it changes pitch sequencing. I think it changes where outfielders play, where infielders play. So it has an impact. It has an impact.
And Ryan McMahon was telling me, and he didn't give away secrets, but he said you guys did have a couple meetings about base running.
Yep.
And he said that Ian was really instrumental in that meeting because he's a veteran.
Yep.
And he knows how to instruct the younger guys on what to look for, about leads, and when to break off
Yep.
dirt balls, all that stuff. We were talking about Ian the other day about the things he does that maybe don't show up in the stats.
Right.
That's one of them, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, we did have a meeting, and I was in there, but Giddy, who's sort of handling our base running, led that discussion and led sort of our base stealing philosophy and base running philosophy. And Ian was very vocal and impactful on some messaging. And, so was Trev, and Hampson said a few things, and the other coaches said some things. So it was, a bunch of guys. I mean, a bunch of baseball guys talking baseball
Yeah.
and more, and talking base running, which is what we do. Whether, this morning we had 7 pitching coaches in here talking pitching. So we have these discussions about what we try to do, and spring training is where you do these things, where you talk about the tone you're setting, whether it's the base running, whether it's the pitching, whether it's the offense, the hitting, the situational hitting, defense, positioning, shift. I mean, this is what we do
I would imagine.
all the time.
I would
You touch
imagine
your
you guys track it. How many games did you win last year by getting that base, whether it was a fly ball,
Well, we
dirt
just
ball?
know. I don't know that we don't.
'Cause
You just know.
some guys would do those.
You guys watch the game, and those things are impactful, and they change games, and even if you get thrown out, there is a feeling on the other side that the Rockies are always pressing, and we got to be on our toes.
Have you stamped out the fear of getting thrown out? Do you feel like?
It's talked about. It's a hard one to overcome.
Right.
Some guys naturally don't have it. Other guys have it. They don't want to get thrown out. They look bad, or
It's all over
it's
Twitter.
the whole thing.
Stats.
Yes, right. I mean, it's so that's what we want that mindset of being aggressive. And a lot of times, whether it's the contact play or a stolen base that I put on, I mean, that's on me. I mean, I'll answer the questions of why we did it. So, but we got to get over that, that tentativeness that some guys might have. Some guys don't have it. They're aggressive. They'll push it. But again, there's within reason now. I mean, there's a baseball instinct that tells you, when to maybe pull the reins. But there's other times when you have freedom, and we want you to use your speed.
David Dahl told me that he, for the most part, has a green light.
Yeah.
And you guys want him, you guys have told him.
Yeah.
You want to see him more aggressive.
Yes.
You want to see him steal more bases.
Yeah.
Because he's got the
Yes,
ability. Now
of
he
course.
needs to learn how to do it.
And he's got to push himself to go a little bit. Some guys you don't have to push.
Right.
Ricky Henderson wanted to go all the time. He's a good A, right? Billy Hamilton wants to go. Juan Pierre wanted to go. Tim Raines wanted to go.
Does David want to go?
We got to get. I think David wants to go sometimes. We got to get him going, but he can run. And there are times when I don't have to. He'll go on his own. Other times I gotta put this deal on because I think it's the right time. But he's getting there. David's getting there. He understands it's part of his game because he wants to be a complete player.
Yeah.
And Trevor's talked about it, and some of the younger guys, Hilliard, Daza. These guys have the tool. You got to use it. Hampson, he wants to go, and so
Trevor's
Yeah.
on the verge of being a 30-30 guy.
Yeah.
He came close last
for
year.
sure, yeah.
Another subject. You done?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I want to make sure.
No,
Okay,
thanks,
so
Carrie.
I wanna make sure. Brendan Rogers, what have you seen different this spring, maybe compared to last spring?
I think with Brendan Moore, I think he's confident to start with. He's a confident player. I think he's really confident in his abilities. He knows he's a good player and he knows he's talented. I think just the way I see him move around the clubhouse, how he's interacting with the coaches and the players. So the personality is more at ease, and I think he's showing who he is. I think that's a difference. I think in game, I've noticed a much better pitch recognition, laying off breaking balls that he might have swung at last spring. I think that's it's a big test for Brendan is laying off that breaking ball out of the strike zone. this guy can hit a fastball. I think we know that, but big league pitchers or talented pitchers are gonna try to expose a number of players, right, to the breaking ball. And Brendan, as a young player, realizes that, and he's doing this spring he's doing a better job of seeing that breaking ball and laying off it, or if it's in the strike zone, taking a rip at it.
You see him at second, short, or just?
Again, we're exposing him to all those positions because you never know, right? It's we never know where the team is going to head as far as what's open, who gets hurt, moves Jeff Mike May. I mean, all those things. So it just gives players first and foremost a much better chance to play if they can do other things, and it gives the team a great deal of flexibility on every night about feeling comfortable making moves. We don't have to worry about, God, can he play third? He hasn't played, or God, can he play second? Or, can so-and-so play right field? I know center's his best position, but can he play right? That's why we expose these guys, and they're all comfortable. And Brandon falls into that category. Okay,
Thanks,
thanks, guys.